and gentlemen, boys and or girls, this is fantasy football, incredibly harsh reality. We have, of course, reached that point of the season where you're either in or you're out. You're either in that field, the top half of your field that's in the mix, that's going to make the playoffs with all likelihood, that's trying to keep the team together, get those wins and get in there, and hopefully make a run. Or you're in the bottom half that has been struggling the whole time, struggled last week, and hope has the glimmer of hope that you've had throughout the season is probably extinguished as you mathematically become not relevant. And I mean, like, that was what was so heartbreaking about this last weekend, because on the one hand, I took 2 losses this week, but the one hand, the good team in my league of record, that team, even though it took a loss, it's still a great team, and we're going to get to why they lost here in just a second, but I'm not worried about that team like I was. The one that really breaks my heart is my Comedians League team, mostly because it's a league filled with comedians, and they are the biggest shit talkers on it. You think your league talks a lot of shit, man? There's a lot of shit talking in this league. And they were really hammering me. Why? Because I do this podcast, and I have to say, for me, and is this making excuses? Yeah, it is. Because, it was beyond my control. They say, everyone says it, I completely agree. The season is won and lost on draft day. How do you draft? I put so much work into my drafts. And I was running, we were doing so I have 2 computers running during the draft. I was running the draft off of NFL.com on my PC laptop, and I was running the talk Zoom for the league on my Mac for obvious reasons. Much better processing on the Mac, much better at streaming video. And I'm doing the draft, and on rounds, so I was picking 4th. I got Zeke, which of course he's, been a disaster since Dak went out. And then I come back around, I pick up Nick Chubb, and then I got Chris Godwin. I'm like, oh my God, I'm hot. We're coming back around. Now keep in mind, we're heading into rounds 4 and 5, and I already have 2 running backs. So it's time to get an elite receiver and a quarterback. That's what I've got lined up there. I was targeting Deshaun Watson. I was targeting Kyler Murray. I was targeting, any Juju Smith-Schuster, DK Metcalf, any Stephon Diggs, any number of wide receivers right there that were still available. And the PC froze. It fucking froze. It froze. And by the time I finally shut it all down and rebooted it, the fucking auto draft had given me David Johnson, who I did not want. I hadn't selected him in a single mock draft, and Mark Andrews, who I also had not selected in a single mock draft. And so I wound up with 2 players, and I was like, oh, maybe it'll work out for the best. Maybe it's a happy accident. But I have to admit, I've been working against those 2, with everything else, with all the injuries and everything else. And then, of course, here's the other thing. Fah-Q. Let's get into the Fah-Qs. Because Fah-Q, to anybody who says, don't get a quarterback early, I completely disagree. You want to get one of those top-tier quarterbacks, because what we're seeing is if you don't have Russell Wilson or Kyler Murray, you're probably not going to win. Last year, the majority of winning teams had Lamar Jackson. The quarterback position always produces the most points. The guys with Mahomes, they're in the hunt right now too with Mahomes. If you don't have Mahomes, Russell, these top tier, if you don't have one of those guys, maybe you got lucky with Aaron Rodgers. Maybe you got lucky, Ben Roethlisberger, but I don't think Ben Roethlisberger's taken anyone to a championship. And considering how little else that the Packers have, it's remarkable to me that they aren't double teaming Devontae Adams more. How they aren't absolutely being shut down in that position more frequently, I have no idea. And I have to plug in the fan because I'm burning up. There we go. And there we go. So you can't wait. And I try to get one of these elite quarterbacks, and I failed in both my leagues. The other one, again, everyone seemed to jump the gun on me on that one. And so I made the trade for Deshaun Watson in the Comedians League. I had Tom Brady, and I'm happy to be off the Tom train. I'm happy. Unfortunately, it was a bad trade because, of course, he went out and put up, after giving me 2 points the week, fuck you. He goes and gives me the other guy 35 after I traded him away. Here's my last tradable piece. All right. So that team, unfortunately, with the loss this weekend, it's a dead horse. It's so bad. It's like 3-6. or 3-7. I don't know. 3-7. It's so bad. It's 3-7. So that team's it's donezo. And that really broke my heart. Because if I would have just kept Tom Brady, and that's the other thing. Okay, so fuck you, the fucking Chargers. You have fucked me twice. Anthony Lynn, you cocksucker. 2 times first, because okay, the Tom Brady league, I'm looking for production. I pick up Justin Herbert, okay? And then Justin Herbert looks great. And I'm like, ooh, I got something here. Then Anthony Lynn goes out there and goes, just to be clear, as soon as Tyrod Taylor is better, he gets the team back. That's what he said. And they're like, we expect him back next week. So 1 more game with Herbert, and then we're bringing back Tyrod. So I dropped Tyrod and picked up, like, Nick Foles, because it was week 4, and Nick Foles was taking over. I was like, oh, maybe it's Nick Foles. Maybe I can get some production out of it. But, of course, we all see where that went. And the traditional Bears-style sausage. And then, of course, Herbert is so good that he's like, oh, okay, I'm going to Herbert. Okay, that was the first time he fucked me. That was the first time. And then he fucked me again this week, because I had Kalen Ballage. I picked him up. Right? He had a good game. I'm like, oh, this is their new guy, Kalen Ballage. I'm like, I'm going to... But then they sent him back down to the fucking practice squad. So now I have no RB2. I mean, I have, like, Latavius Murray. I have, you know, these fucking guys that aren't going to see much time. And so I traded Tom Brady for Zach Moss. Now, Tom Brady the week before got me 2 points. Guess how many points Zach Moss got me this week? 2 points! God, shut your butt up. Fucker. Now, at least I had the wherewithal to not start Zach Moss because I figured the game script wasn't going to go his way tremendously. And I did start Kalen Ballage, but it wasn't enough to save me because I did plan to start Tua starting this week. I think this is the week you can start playing Tua if you have to, because he has this great stretch coming up. But I had to put him in a little early. And again, I felt pretty confident in it. And let's go now to Cleveland. Fuck you, Cleveland, for fucking having an outdoor stadium in that fucking disaster area for weather in the fall and winter. What the fuck are you guys doing? This is 2 times your weather has fucked me. 30-mile-an-hour winds. 30? Fucking build a dome, you fucking crackpots. Jesus Christ. So anyway, so when Deshaun Watson was on his bye week, I picked up David Carr, who'd been doing great, who went up to Cleveland, 30-mile-an-hour winds, through nothing. Then this week, Deshaun Watson going up to Cleveland, 30-mile-an-hour winds. I'm like, oh no, I've seen this before. So I put in Tua because he's playing down there against the Chargers. And if you look at his, he had 6 points, then 23 points. And I figured, even though the projections were great, I figured he would land somewhere between 20. I honestly felt around 26 points. I figured he would land, and hoping, I was like, maybe he even takes it up a notch, let's see. And instead, he went back down to 14 points because fuck you Miami defense. That's the thing. I picked up Tua because of the stretch he has coming up against Denver, Cincinnati, and the Jets. Great, but the defense is too good. You're too good. Stop being so good. He doesn't have to do shit when you guys are that good. Like, he could do more, but he doesn't have to because you guys can't fucking score points, and that's what I'm staring at. So it's a slide. My team is I'm probably going to finish. Just like the Cowboys. My team, just like my beloved Cowboys. Same final, 30-13. That's what we're going to finish. It's going to be miserable. Okay, so fuck you to the Miami defense, yes. And fuck you, Seattle. You and your carousel of running backs, you guys. First, and thank God, I would, if I still had DJ Dallas, I would have played him. And I feel sorry for, if you played him, I'm sorry, it may have cost you your season if you were plugging him in there and you needed that win. And then they were like, oh, you know what? Alex Collins just got here, from the Best Western. And he, he's pretty good. Let's have him run. Oh, boy. I was even watching it. I was like, did DJ Dallas's hair get longer in a week? Oh, fuck you, Indy. Oh, my God. Just stick with Hines. Can you just stick? He is clearly the best running back. You guys with this hot hand garbage. Just, you know why you keep having to go with the hot hand? Because you guys don't give anybody a chance to warm up. You don't have any chance to but Naheem Hines, clearly the best back you have. Fuck Jonathan Taylor. Fuck Jordan Wilkins. Just play Naheem Hines, you jackasses. Chargers, yeah, I already talked about it. They fucked me twice. Fucking Herbert and Ballage. But at least they still got Balaj. And I like Balaj going forward. He looks pretty good. And they're calling this another revenge game coming up, so that's also good because I think he's playing the Jets. Broncos, who are you guys? Do you have a defense or not? This Vegas team, I mean, they're good. They're not that good. Titans, okay, fuck you, Titans. Okay? You get down there in obvious Derrick Henry situations. You're on the goal, and I know that the reason these other plays are working is because it's an obvious Derrick Henry situation, but Derrick's still going to get it done. Just give him the shot. Hand him the ball. It's the most secure play you can make. Just at least once. Hand him the fucking ball. But obviously, you're not going to because that's what they're expecting, and when you don't do that, it's working. So I can't fault you for it, but fuck you anyway. Rams RBs. Now Cam Akers. Now you're gonna play Cam Akers. Now Cam's part of the fucking off. Fuck you, you fucking cocks. And you're in first. How the fuck did that happen? I hope you lose. I hope the Cardinals kill you. Tom Brady. Fuck you and your 2 points, 35 points, 7 points. I'm off the ride. I'm glad to be done with you. Fuck you to fucking Rashard Higgins. I used him 2 weeks ago, because everybody was on bye. So so my team, that's the thing. Let me explain to you this Comedians League team. Because, Zeke's out. I lost Chubb early. Mark Andrews was good for 5 games. Then, like, he doesn't even exist. And then, although now he bounces back when I bench him for fucking Gesicki. So I went young with my wide receiving core a few weeks ago, and I was like Rashard Higgins and one of these other, wide receiver twos that were supposed to be getting a lot of looks and fucking garbage. And then this week, of course, Rashard fucking 7 receptions, 150 yards and a touchdown. Of course, because I wasn't playing him. Now, my receivers on, again, this team of woe. It's like a museum to great wide receivers in fantasy football history. I have Michael Thomas, Antonio Brown, and Chris Godwin. Now, over the last 3 years, any one of them would making me a star. Or not really any one of them, but Antonio Brown, then Michael Thomas and Chris Godwin. And now I have this collection of super receivers who fucking suck. Fuck you, Michael Thomas. You have you have fewer total points on the season than your average per game last season. This is so 2020. Fuck you to the Bears offense. How do you run out of running backs? That's amazing. That's just, you're using Cordero Patterson? I don't know how do you not see that coming? You guys are fucking idiots. Of course, then you get Lamar Miller, and he's looking pretty good, but you don't use him. You just leave. I don't know. You guys suck. Now, here's the thing. Obviously, we saw what happened to Drew Brees. And I'll say this. Everyone's dropping their receivers. Michael Thomas, Jared Cook, Emmanuel Sanders. I'm going to say hold on to them one more week, and I'll tell you why. Because Jameis Winston loves to sling the ball. Which may not work. Maybe it gets him pulled. I don't know. But maybe he starts getting it down the field to Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders and Jared Cook. I mean, if you remember, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin did very, very good with him last year. So hold on to him one more week. Let's see what Jameis Winston does with him when he comes out. Because Drew Brees was so afraid of throwing the fucking ball down the field, he just kept throwing it. Kamara. Now, if you're a Kamara owner, this could be very bad for you. But who knows? Maybe they tell Jameis which they did like in the back end of Sunday's game, where they're just like, just hand it to Kamara. But he's got to throw it over 4 quarters. He's going to have to throw it. And he likes to sling that ball. We shall. So I don't play. Hold on. Unless you got to make room for somebody you need, which is what I have to do, unfortunately, in one of my leagues. Obviously, on the waiver wire, Balaj, Richard Rodgers, the tight end in Philly who somehow became their #1 receiver. So, although Jalen Reagor did pretty good too, he's a waiver wire guy. Jameis Winston, I'm picking him up, because I ditched Tom. And Cordero Patterson, I mean, who knows how long this is going to go on. I mean, you're basically getting a running back at a wide receiver price. You can put him in that flex. All right, that's it. I give up. Let's see what the next week holds. I will be doing a live broadcast on Thursday. Well, it actually won't be live on here, but we'll be recording it live during the NFL game. We'll be doing a live broadcast with some of my comedian buddies from the Fantasy Football League. Hopefully they show up. And that's what's up. You guys, hopefully you're still in it. I won in it and won all the way out. And that's fantasy football. Harsh reality.